Hello. I'm just trying to set it up so that you can see me. So excuse me while I think it's actually good. Okay, good. So welcome to Salisbury Yoga and Wellness Center. This is where we always gather. Um, I'm going to share right now a more gentle class or a class that you might like to use in the evening um, to come down from your day a little bit more. I shared a more active multi-level class um, earlier today, and this one is going to be much more gentle. And we're going to begin lying down. If you're not feeling like you can lie down right now, then feel free to just move around until you're ready to lie down, and then you can join us. So if you're lying down, just get comfortable on the floor or on your mat. Make any adjustments. I like to take constructive rest pose, bringing the feet a little bit wider and letting the knees rest toward each other. But if that doesn't work for you, then feel free to find another pose that's more comfortable for you. I'm going to turn up the volume a little bit because I just realized I had to turn down the volume earlier and you might not be able to hear me. So if you're settling on your mat right now, you might take several letting go breaths. Taking in a deeper breath and letting it out of the side. Maybe just let your head rock side to side. You can let your hands rest on your belly if you like. That can be very comforting. Or sometimes it feels good to just occupy space, bring your arms wide, and just let yourself ground on the floor. And begin to notice your breath. Begin to notice how your breath feels right now. Is it easy to breathe, or is it kind of challenging? Feel free to always take in a deeper inhale, inside out. And we'll begin to move with the breath. So if your knees aren't bent, bend your knees now. Bring your feet in a comfortable position. Bring your arms alongside the body, palms facing down if that feels good for your body. And begin to notice your breath. And now we're just going to let the arms move at the pace of the breath. So as you inhale, let the arms float up off the floor, come overhead as far as they want to come. They might come all the way to the floor behind you, or your arms may stay lifted a little bit more. Don't force, don't over effort. And as you exhale, bring the arms back down alongside the body. Let the arms paint your breath. Let the breath find you, and let the arms move with the breath. Again, it doesn't matter if your arms aren't coming all the way overhead. Always feel free to sigh it out on the out breath. And you can keep going if this feels invigorating and nourishing to you, or just let the arms rest, or again, let your hands rest on your belly. Really work with where your body is right now. If you're needing more movement, please feel free to add more movement until your nervous system settles in. And if your nervous system is settling in, again, just notice the breath, soften the muscles in the face. And just feel the gentle rising and falling of your belly or your chest with the breath. You might imagine inhaling into the belly, moving up towards the rib cage, up towards the chest, and then exhale from the top to the middle, to the bottom, all the way back out. Again, if you're craving more movement, add the arms to the breath anytime you like. If you're craving just some settling, then just keep your hands on your belly or to your heart, or one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart. And remember that nobody can see you, so this is your practice. You can do as much or as little as you want. If you're feeling inclined, you can really just rest on the floor for the entire practice if that's how your body's feeling. And if you're ready to add some more movement, bring the arms wider and then bring the feet wider. Again, let out those letting go breaths anytime you like. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, let your knees drift over to the right, maybe head to the left. And then inhale, knees and head back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right. And continue to move side to side. Or if it feels good for you, then just let the knees hang out on one side for several breaths. Make sure that, so for instance, if the knees are to the right, make sure that the left shoulder stays on the ground. You'll notice my knees are not coming all the way down so that my shoulder doesn't come off the ground. And if you're hanging out on one side, bring your knees over to the other side again. Make sure that the right shoulder stays on the ground. The knees can hang where they want. Again, if you're wanting more movement, feel free to add that. And then maybe just come side to side a few times. Imagine you're just lazily waking up the body. Maybe turning the head in the opposite direction. Letting knees continue to windshield wiper side to side until you're ready to come up off the mat. And then you can roll onto one side, roll all the way onto that side, and then use the hands to make your way up to a seated position. And then finding any seated position that works for you. You can sit cross-legged if that works for you, removing the flesh from the buttocks. Or if that really doesn't feel good for you, feel free to stretch the legs wide and sit tall this way. And just breathe and arrive. Again, if you like, add the arms to the breath. Sometimes it's good to keep moving to kind of calm the nervous system. So as you inhale, arms float out to the sides and over as far as they want to go, and then exhale all the way back down. Again, your arms may only be coming partway up, and that's fine. Just don't force, don't over effort. If your arms are meeting overhead, you can even touch the backs of the hands together, get long, and then get longer as you come back down. Moving with your breath. The next time the arms are overhead, pause for a moment. Maybe turn the palms in for a moment. Hug the tops of the arm bones into the shoulder sockets. Let your sits bones ground down into the earth, so you're getting taller by grounding down. Breath flowing easily through your torso. And when you're ready, release one arm down to the mat, and then walk those fingers out and just kind of tilt to that side. You can soften that elbow, the bottom elbow. If you like, you can look under the top arm. In this instance, keep the sits bones, both sits bones down on the ground. You can stay still, or you might even be rising a tiny bit as you inhale and then falling or softening a tiny bit as you exhale. On the next inhale, rise back up to center, both arms come up, pause and re-arrive. Ground down through the sits bones. Feel your breath. And as you exhale, release the opposite arm down and then walk those fingers out. Reach from the top arm, from the top fingers to the sits bones. Square the shoulders as best as you can. You can soften the bottom elbow. Again, you might feel a gentle rising and falling as you breathe. Try to keep the arm from coming, keep the arm alongside the ear instead of letting it come in front of your face. And inhale back up, fingertips touch maybe. Exhale, bring the palms together and bring your hands to your heart. Press your heart into your thumbs and your thumbs into your heart. And maybe set an intention for your practice. And maybe your intention today is to really be with your breath. To let the breath kind of soften everything that it meets. All those tired muscles in the shoulders, those tense muscles in the abdomen. Be with your breath. Adding some more movement, bring the hands to the thighs and then begin to circle your torso. Again, you're moving with the breath. You're leading with the center of the chest, the sternum, and you're circling the sternum to the front and then to one side and all the way to the back and then to the other side. You can push and pull on the knees if you like. You can reverse your circles. Take care to let your head follow so you're not leading with the chin. You're letting the chin and the head follow. That feels really good right now to my body. Get a little movement, a little space in the side ribs. And when you've had enough, pause for a moment at center. And then make your way onto hands and knees. Come into tabletop shape. So in tabletop, your fingers are fanned out. Your fingers are holding the mat. Your back is flat. Your knees are about hip distance apart. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, pull the hips back towards the toes and even past the toes. Let the head follow. Feel the breath. Maybe again, feel a gentle rising and falling of the breath. You're still pulling your tailbone towards the wall behind you. And as you inhale, rise back up into table. Exhale, pull the hips back. Get really long by pulling that tailbone. Imagine someone has a rope tied to your tailbone. You can stay longer or inhale forward and exhale back. Again, fit the movement to what your body wants to do right now. You don't even have to follow along with me. Anytime you like, you can do more, you can do less. It's always an option to rest in child's pose, making a pillow of your hands for your face, or even stacking the fists. So that's always an option if you like to. If you're still moving forward and back and you want a little bit more, you can also bring the chest a little bit further forward, maybe hammock your belly down, and then gather the belly in, come back through table and all the way into extended child as slowly as you can. So again, do what feels best for your body. Maybe that's just coming forward and back, or maybe that's continuing a little bit further forward. Remember, this is a soothing, calming practice. And the next time you're in table position, then let's come up into downward facing dog. So if you don't know downward facing dog, it's that upside down V. Tuck the toes, lift the knees and the hips, and then make sure your legs are as wide as your arms. You're making that TP shape, and breathe. And then gently walk the feet towards the hands, coming into forward fold. Once you're in forward fold, soften your knees and let your torso hang. I always like to release those letting go breaths, those deeper breaths. Maybe it feels good to shake the head. Yes. Forward and back. No, side to side. And stay here as long as you like. And then slowly peel up to standing. All the way up, stacking vertebrae by vertebrae. And then shaking it out a little bit. One of my favorite things to do is empty coat sleeves. So if you want to join me, step your feet wider. And then just let arms sway side to side. Give yourself little pats on your bottom or on your thighs. Make sure you pick up the opposite heel. If you like, you can inhale through the nose to center and then exhale, ha, 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 ha. So it becomes a little more invigorating if you're really looking for a little extra ha energy. Ha, 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 ha. And slowly come back to stillness. Sometimes it feels really good to move, doesn't it? So we're going to do a little bit more rotation. So maybe shorten your stance a little bit. Keep the knees really soft. Bring your hands. Find the pointy bones at the front of your hips. And start to circle your hips. And you're still following the breath. You can keep the hands to the hips or just let the arms follow. And really see how much movement you can get into the hips. Sometimes the hips really forget that they're meant to move. You can reverse whenever you like. Your circles might be faster than mine or slower. Again, fit it to what does your body want right now? Not your mind, but your body. Shake it out again. And then let's add a little bit more movement. Take a moment and ground your feet into the earth. Coming into mountain pose. You can stay stationary if this feels really good to just ground, or add the arms if your body is craving movement. Just like we did when we were sitting down, add the arms. Or when we were lying down, the arms were coming in front of us, and this time the arms are coming out to the sides. You can also look up as you inhale, and then down as you exhale. And when your body says that's enough of those sun breaths, then wrap the left hand around the right side of the rib cage, the right hand around the left side of the rib cage, and just feel the earth under your feet. Feel the mat under your feet. Become intimate with your breath. Really feel your breath. Imagine the mind, the brain draining down into the shoulders and then draining down into the chest, into the belly, into the buttocks, down through the thighs, the knees, the calves, the feet, and down into the ground. Imagine all your stress melting down into the ground. Bring your awareness down to the earth to come out of the overactive mind. And adding some more movement. Inhale, arms out to the side. And this time, dive all the way back down into a forward fold. Keep the back flat, the knees soft. Just hang for a moment. Maybe hold opposite elbows soft in the knees. Maybe sway side to side. You can sway a little forward, a little back. You can continue hanging or bend the knees deeply and then swing one arm up, bend the opposite knee, and then swing it back down, and then bend the opposite knee, lift that opposite arm. So just allow the little gentle twist, the little side stretch. Whenever you've had plenty, you can hang again. And then step the right foot far back and sink your right knee down, coming into the lunge. So you can keep the right toes tucked and press out through the foot, if that feels good for you, or you can untuck the toes and press the top of the foot into the mat. Either way, you want to have weight on that right foot so you're not hanging out on the left foot. You're putting some, and you're also not hanging out on the right knee. You can stay here, your fingertips may be down, you can bring your hands to your thigh if you like, or you can add some movement again and just extend the left leg, bring the hips back, and then slowly bend the left knee towards the center toes. You can even let your heart rise a little bit. So add as much or as little movement as your body might be craving. Moving with the breath. You can also let the left foot float up so that you're extending a little bit more. If you're craving more movement, you can let the arms rise up as the chest rises up. Again, listen to what your body needs now and add, subtract, do less or more. This is just an offering to get your body moving so that you're coming out of your mind a little bit and into the body and into your breath. When you're ready, you can step the left foot back, coming into table position on hands and knees again. Take care again not to just let your belly hammock down, but rather kind of zip up the belly. And then from here, we're going to come into cat and dog tilt. As you inhale, the tailbone goes up, the belly low, the chest spills forward, the chin lifts up. And as you exhale, hug the navel in, tuck the tailbone under, the spine rolls up to the sky, the chin tucks towards the chest. And let the breath find the movement, let the breath orchestrate the movement. Again, you can move as fast or as slow as your body likes. As the breath finds you, the tailbone goes up, the belly comes low, the chest comes forward, the head lifts up maybe a little bit, and then tuck the tailbone under. Let the belly roll up towards the spine and tuck the head under last. Back and forth. As long as you like. When you've had enough of these movements, you can make your way back into table, neutral spine, and then make your way all the way down onto the abdomen and just let yourself arrive on your mat. You can make a pillow with the hands for the head. Or if you don't have any neck issues, you can bring the arms alongside the torso and turn the cheek to one side. Let your body melt onto the earth. Sometimes it can be very soothing to lie on your belly. If your lower back is kind of talking to you today, you can bend the knees and windshield wiper feet side to side. Release the feet whenever you like, or keep the windshield wiper going. If your cheek is turned to one side and you want to turn it to the other side, then you can do that. Let out some letting go breaths again. Bring the head back to center. Hands alongside the chest. Slide your hands back so that your elbows are hugged in towards the rib cage. So your hands might be, they're probably not by the shoulders, they're probably alongside the chest a little bit more. And then lengthen from the toes to the top of the head. Lengthen so much that your chest and head might actually come up just a tiny bit. As if you're getting taller by pressing down through the tops of the feet and out through the toes. And then come into some gentle baby cobras. As you inhale, your heart rises a little bit. Try not to lead with the head, so lead with the center of the chest. And then exhale back down. So we're not doing push-ups. We're using the strength of the torso to gently rise up. You're using very little or no arm strength if you can. And you're moving with the breath. So you're getting longer as you inhale and get even longer as you exhale. Stay with these cobras as long as you like. Again, you might be doing more. You might be coming up higher. You might be hanging out in cobra, or you might stay quite low. This is you and your body, you and your breath, you on your mat, listening to your body and your breath. When you've had enough of cobra, you can again make a pillow with the hands for the head, or again, turn the cheek to one side. Really be gentle. If your body's feeling lazy right now, allow that. If you're feeling a little more revved up, then allow more movement in order to come out of the mind that's overactive for everyone right now. Again, you might turn the opposite cheek to the mat. You can stay here longer or add some more cobras if you like. Elbows hugged in, get longer as you inhale and exhale back down. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Shoulders are rolling down the back towards the hips. And whenever you're ready, then gather the belly in and rise up into table and keep going. Bring the hips towards the heels. Come into extended child for a moment. You can keep the elbows lifted and get longer from the tailbone to the fingertips. Inhale back up into table when you're ready, on hands and knees. Maybe do some more cat and dog tilts, or sway your hips side to side like you're kind of wagging your tail side to side. Come back to center. Tuck the toes. We're coming back up into downward facing dog. So your fingers are very active. You're pressing down into the fingertips. Tuck the toes, lift the knees and the hips. Make your way into your downward dog. You can walk it out. Bend one knee and then bend the other. Wag your tail or stay stationary. When you're ready, walk the feet towards the hands, coming into forward fold, or the hands towards the feet, whatever works for you. Don't force your body to do something it's not ready to do. Hang in forward fold, and now bend the knees deeply. Swing the arms forward and then use your legs to stand up. Exhale, hands to the chest. Pause for a moment, maybe wrap the left hand around the right side of the rib cage, the right hand to the left side of the rib cage. Feel your breath. Imagine again your brain melting down towards the shoulders, gathering up stress in the shoulders, melting down towards the heart, gathering up tension there, melting down towards the belly, gathering up tension there, melting down towards the hips, gathering any, holding there, down the thighs, the knees, the calves, the feet, down into the ground. A melting sensation. Let all your stress melt down into the earth. And when you're ready, let's add some more sun breaths. Inhale, arms out to the side, get tall, maybe look up. Exhale, back down. Inhale, arms out to the sides. Exhale, back down. And on the next exhale, we're going to dive all the way down, back into a forward fold. Keep the back flat, knees soft, come all the way down. Hang again for as long as you like. I always have more of those deeper inhales and exaggerated exhales. When you're ready, then step the left foot back towards a lunge and then sink the left knee down. Again, your hands can stay low. You can keep the left toes tucked, or you can press the top of the foot into the mat. Take care that you're not on a tightrope, so sometimes it's nice to walk the right foot out a little bit more. Again, stay stationary. You can keep your hands to the ground, maybe just fingertips, or bring the hands to the right thigh. Or again, add movement. So bring the hips back, and then forward. Again, take care that your knee stays in line with your center toes. So your knee is going straight back and straight forward, and it's not coming beyond your toes. If you feel like you want to do more, you can also, as you're coming forward, you can lift the chest up a little bit more. And as you're coming back, you can let the right foot float up. So again, you're listening to your body. If you want, you can also lift the arms up and then sweep them back down as you bow over the extended right thigh. Honoring where your body is right now, where your mind, your breath is. And when you've had enough of these lunge movements, then step the right foot back into table. Pause for a moment to arrive in tabletop. And then make your way down onto the belly again. Once you're on the belly again, get comfortable again so that you're making a pillow with the hands for the head or turning the cheek to one side. And imagine your whole front body melting down into the earth. Can you release a little more? Can you release the belly, the shoulders, the face? Again, if your cheek is turned to one side, turn the opposite cheek to the mat. When you're ready, bring the head back to center. So now your forehead, your mouth, or your chin is to the mat, depending on the orientation of your neck. Bring the arms alongside the thighs, and now lengthen from the toes to the top of the head. And as you're lengthening, let your chest and head float up very slightly. Someone watching might not even see it rising. Maybe one foot
one leg floats up very slightly. So you're not lifting your leg high up in the air, just letting it float up, lengthening from the toes, the lifted toes to the top of the head. Get longer, stay up as long as you like, and when you've had enough, sink back down. And again, we're going to do the other side. So chest and head floats up very, very slightly. You probably can't even see that my head is rising. And then let the other leg float up very, very slightly. Get longer. Soften shoulders away from the air. So it's like the shoulders are melting down through the arms and out through the fingers. Exhale, back down. And we're going to do that one more time. If you've had enough, feel free to rest instead. And you can bend the knees and windshield wiper feet side to side. So take that break if you like. Or this time, chest and head float up very slightly. Both legs lift up very, very slightly. And maybe both arms as well. But think more about getting longer rather than lifting. So we're not trying to lift up high. We're just staying floating off the mat. Like we're trying to get longer than the earth under us. When you've had enough, then sink down onto the belly. And again, rest. Make a pillow with the hands for the head or turn the cheek to one side. Let your belly melt. Your heart melt. Your face melt. You can turn the cheek to the opposite side when you're ready, if you like. Bring the head back to center, hands alongside the chest. Inhale up into table. Pull the hips back towards extended child. Come back up into table, and then let's come into a seated pose. So bring the legs in front of you. Bend your knees and bring your feet as wide as they want to be. Bring your hands behind you and kind of lean back into your hands. I'm going to actually bring my feet wider than the mat. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, let the knees drift over to the right. The left hip comes over to the right. You really kind of twist the spine, and then inhale back through center, and knees go over to the left. The right hip comes over. And you can stay really slow like I'm modeling, or you can move faster. And you can also, if it feels good for your body, so again, you're listening to your body, not so much to me, but to your body. If it feels good, you can bring the opposite arm across so that the arms are moving along with the torso and the hips and the legs. If you want even more, again, this is just an option, and you may not want to do that today. The next time you're over to the right, lift the hips up and really stretch through the whole left side, and then come back down and do the same thing on the other side. Or again, stay low. So you're really listening to your body. You're doing what your body's asking for you to do today. Not what I'm guiding or even what I'm suggesting. This is you and your body, you on your mat, in your body, with your breath. If you like, the next time the knees are to the right, bring the left hand across, and then maybe even walk the hands a little bit back towards the left. And then if it's available, you can come down onto elbows. You can keep the elbows lifted if that feels better. You can even just come onto forearms and just let your head hang. I like to sway side to side a little bit here.
And feel free to, if you're doing it on one side, make sure you don't forget the other side. So the knees go to the left, both hands come behind you. You walk the hands a little bit over to the right even. Again, you might be up higher and just letting your heart rate down, or you can. So don't force your body to look like my body. Let your body be your body. Your body is perfect just the way it is. And every one of us has a different body. No two of us have the same capacities, the same shape, the same look. It's more about feeling. How does your body feel when you're ready? Lie down on your back again, just like we started the practice. I'm just checking the time. And once you're on your back, let yourself arrive again. You can again take constructive rest pose if you like. And stay here as long as you like. If your body says, I need more movement, let your limbs float up off the mat, coming into dead bug. You might gently turn your head side to side. You can just let your limbs float or stay stationary. You can scissor legs and arms, just lazy scissors. You can bicycle legs and arms. You can doggy paddle. Imagine you're doggy paddling in a lake. Maybe imagine you're a dog. So what we're doing here is we're keeping our limbs above the heart for several minutes in order to let the blood flow reverse. This is cleansing for the nervous system, for the heart, for circulation. Again, you can be making movements instead of holding still. I like to imagine that someone has invisible strings tied to my wrists and to my ankles, and they're holding up my limbs for me. And that image of my limbs being supported by someone in the sky causes my body to sink into the earth more. Let all expression melt off your face. Again, if you're craving movement, stay with the movement. Anytime you like, you can come into happy baby. You can bend the knees, reach inside the legs for the ankles or the pants legs or the insteps, and then just maybe rock side to side. Your baby just discovering, oh, I have toes. You can wiggle your toes. Maybe bring head side to side. Whenever you've had enough of whatever you're doing, bring your feet back down. Maybe take constructive rest pose again, hands to the belly, knees resting against each other, torso melting into the ground. And then let the knees float apart. Heels a comfortable distance away from the buttocks. Bring your right knee into the chest, and you can clasp the hands behind the right thigh if you like, or clasp the hands in front of the right shin, whatever feels best for you. Or your hands might just be resting to the sides of the thigh. Breathe into your belly. And keep the right knee hugged in, slide your left leg long. You might even flex the left foot and let it float off the mat just an inch or two. And then slowly lift the left leg up to perpendicular. Once the leg is overhead, settle your whole spine on the mat. So your lower back is pressing down into the mat. There's no space in the lower back. You can circle the left foot at the ankle. Stay with your breath. Let the fronts of the shoulders melt into the shoulder blades. Reverse the circling of the left foot. And then keeping the left foot flexed, keep the lower back pressed down so there's no space in my lower back. Start to slowly lower the left leg down. You can pause just before the leg touches and then lift it back up to perpendicular. Do these leg lifts as long as you like. If this is too much for you, if you're feeling strain in your lower back, then you can just release the left leg, keep the right knee hugged in. So honor where your body is today. Don't be so hard on yourself. Stay with these leg lifts as long as you like. Whenever you've had enough, bring both knees into the chest. I like to maybe put my hands on my knees and then circle the knees to massage the lower back. You can reverse the circles. Another thing I like to do is cross the ankles, hold on to the big toes, and then circle the knees to massage the buttocks and the lower back. Or you can just stay with circling the knees like I showed you earlier. You can reverse if you haven't already. And then bring both feet back to the mat. And then hug your left knee into the chest. Again, the hands can be behind the thigh to the clasp at the shin, or they can just be supporting the leg on either side if that feels better for your body. Feel your belly moving towards the thigh, your torso sinking into the ground. And then extend your right leg long. You might press out through the right foot and let the right leg float up just an inch or two and then bring it all the way up to perpendicular. Again, once the leg is lifted, make sure your spine is resting on the ground. Don't fight the gentle flattening of the neck. So my chin is coming a little bit towards my chest. I'm not fighting that. Lower back is pressed down. Circle the right foot at the ankle. And reverse the circles. And then keep the foot flexed and start to slowly lower the right leg down. Again, your movements may be faster or they can be quite slow like mine. The leg stops at about hip distance off the mat. Stay with your breath. Keep softening. I'm feeling some clenching around the front of my chest, and I'm attempting to stop that from happening by breathing into that space. Again, stay here as long as you like. And when you've had enough, you can either, again, bring both knees into the chest or stretch long. Bring the arms overhead and then get long from the right fingers to the right foot and then from the left fingers to the left foot. And bring the arms back down and bend the knees. Bring the heels close to the buttocks. I like to find the sits bones, the pointy bones, kind of in the middle of the buttocks, and then line up the heels with those sits bones. My knees are right over the ankles, the arms are alongside the body. We're coming into bridge. press into the feet, lift the hips up as high as they want to come. And then slowly, with control, release the spine back down. And just continue to lift and lower at your own pace. You can be quite slow the way I'm guiding. You can choose to stay lifted as well, or just come up and down at your own pace. When you've had enough, let the hips rest for a moment once they've come back down, and then you can bring the knees into the chest, rock side to side. Again, maybe make circles or do whatever feels good for you. And then we're going to do a gentle hip opener. Bring the right knee into the chest. And then cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Keep the right foot flexed. So you can stay here. This might be plenty for you. You can gently push the right thigh away and press the thigh into the hand and the hand into the thigh. Or you can lift the left leg up and you can imagine that there's a wall that your left foot is pressing against. So it's like your left foot is pressing against an imaginary wall to open that right hip a little bit more. You can stay here, or if you want to vary it, bring the right hand between the legs, coming into eye of the needle pose, then hold on to the back of the left thigh with both hands, clasp the hands, or bring the hands to the front of the left chin. So left thigh and left shin. The right hand is between the legs in that eye of the needle. Stay and breathe. When you've had enough, unclasp the hands, unwind the legs. You can again let knees windshield wiper side to side if that feels good for your body. And then we're going to come to the other side. I'm just checking my time. Bring the left knee into the chest, cross the left ankle over the right thigh. You might stay here and just gently press the left hand into the thigh and the thigh into the hand, just like you're trying to move the left knee away and the knee saying, nope, I'm coming in. Or you can lift your right leg up, keep the right foot flexed, and imagine it's pressing against an imaginary wall. So you're stretching the outside of the left thigh. If you like, bring the left hand between the legs, hold on to the back of the right thigh with both hands, or the right shin with both hands. So don't force. So if you're doing this and your shoulders are way up and your head's lifted, then take the intermediate version where you're imagining that wall, or keep the right foot down and just gently press the thigh away and release it. The most important thing is to listen to your body before you listen to me. When you've had enough, unwind. You can again windshield wiper your knees side to side. And then we're gonna do a gentle twist. So stretch your legs long. Bring your right knee into the chest. Hug it in for a moment like you haven't seen it in a long time. I like to actually kiss my right knee or send it a kiss. Hi. And then bring the right foot onto the left thigh without putting weight on it, the left thigh or knee. Bring the left hand to the outside of the right thigh, the right hand out to the side on the floor. You might slide the left foot to center just a little bit. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, draw your right knee over to the left just a little ways, not as far as you can, and the right shoulder is firmly pressed on the ground. And then you're pressing the right thigh into the left hand, like you're fighting with the thigh saying, come over to the left, and the thigh saying, no, I'm going back to my right side.
Breathe. And then release the press, counter press, soften, and let the weight of the left hand on the right thigh perhaps open that right hip further. Make sure the right shoulder stays on the ground so it's not peeling up. And again, you're not forcing your leg to come over. Your leg may not come over anymore at all. Just breathe into that right hip and see if you can soften rather than try to effort it. The softer you can make that right hip, the more you'll get out of it. When you've had enough, gently roll the right hip back down. Bring the right foot to the mat. Bend the left knee, bring the left foot to the mat. Square the hips and the shoulders back into the mat. And then stretch the legs out long. Bring your left knee into the chest, hug it in. And then loosely place your left foot onto your right thigh. Bring your right hand to the outside of the left thigh. The left hand goes on the floor, palm facing down. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, draw the left knee over to the right, just a little bit. Left shoulder stays on the ground, and then press, counter press, like you're fighting. The right hand is trying to force the knee to come over, and the knee saying, no, I'm going back to my left side. Breathe. Sometimes it's nice to bring your head side to side a little bit so you're not tightening the jaw. Find where your head is comfortable, and then release the press, counter press, and maybe the knee will come over. Again, I've done this a lot, so your leg probably won't be moving as much as mine is, and your body is different than everyone else's and unique and wonderful and perfect just as it is. Soften whatever you can soften. And when you've had enough, then gently roll the left hip back down. Bend both knees, bring the feet to the mat, square the hips and shoulders, and then bring the knees into the chest and rock onto one side. Come all the way back up to sitting. We're going to do one more pose before final relaxation. So this is actually a yin pose. So bring your knees wide, bring the soles of the feet toward each other. They can be touching or they can be quite wide, whatever feels better for your body. You're not trying to force your knees in further. Remove the flesh from the sits bones. Get tall. And then hinge forward at the hips and just let go. Soften your belly. Soften your face, soften your shoulders. So this is a yin posture, and this is a posture that we just kind of stay in for a few breaths, a few minutes. And you're not trying to, so you may be up quite high, and just take support from the palms of your hands maybe. Your feet might be closer to each other. You can take support. So sometimes it feels good to press into the hands so you're not over efforting into this pose, or just let go. Be receptive, open. Trusting the earth to hold you. Trusting your breath to fill you. Trusting your body to let all remaining tension drip off your shoulders, drip off your face, your belly, your thighs. All your tension is spilling down into the earth. You're not trying to do anything. You're just softening. Be with your breath. Be with your body. Can you let go more? So I encourage you to stay here longer if you're finding this pose soothing and healing. But if your body is kind of screaming at you, if your mind's kind of screaming at you to get out of dodge, you can see if you can stay with it a while longer. And if it doesn't get better, if it doesn't kind of shift, then gently press into the hands. Use your hands to come back up. Even use your hands to bring the knees back up. You can bring the feet to the mat. You can come back onto forearms maybe and just let knees, windshield wipers side to side. Or if you're ready, come all the way down onto the mat. And then again, let your knees, windshield wipers side to side, just like we did at the beginning of the practice. And then see if there's anything else your body wants to do before final relaxation. I'm going to guide you into final relaxation. And then I'm probably going to leave you during final relaxation. And I invite you to stay longer if you can. If you want to, if you're doing this in the evening or at night, you might take your final relaxation into your bed. That's an option now. Isn't that exciting? I love that. So just get comfortable. If you're going to your bed, feel free to. If you're staying on your mat, then you might take as many blankets as you might think you need to get comfortable. If you have some, I'm going to put my shirt back on because I'm getting chilly. If you have some pillows around, you can stack up pillows under your knees to make your lower back more comfortable. It's not kind for the lower back to have the legs extended. So if you have some pillows, these are just some, you can use couch pillows or any big pillows that you have. So again, for final relaxation, you can extend your legs long if you have no lower back issues. For most adults, I would suggest supporting your knees in any way that you can. So one way is to take some pillows and just kind of let your legs be supported by the pillows. If you have several blankets, sometimes it's really nice to take one of your blankets and just drape it over your belly. That can be very soothing and calming. If you only have one blanket, please cover your whole self up with a blanket so you don't get cold. If you have an eye pillow, you can put it over your eyes, or you can just take a sock or a scarf or your shirt or whatever and put it over your eyes. A towel would be nice as well. So make all those adjustments. I'm going to come up so I can guide you, but you stay in Shavasana, in final relaxation. If you're still making adjustments, stay with your movements, whatever you need to do to really come into this moment to get really comfortable. And if you're already lying down,
Notice if you can soften a little bit more. Is it possible that you can trust the earth to hold you completely? Can you trust the earth to carry you, to hold you, to cradle you? One of my favorite yoga teachers, Jillian Pransky, says, the earth longs to hold you so your breath can fill you. The earth longs to hold you so your breath can fill you. Can you allow the earth to hold you, to carry you, to support you? Can you allow your breath, your gentle, natural, unfettered breath, can you allow your breath to caress you from the inside out? Soften the buttocks, the thighs. Can you imagine your belly forming a clear blue pond? The breath as gentle ripples in the clear blue pond. Imagine you can see all the way to the bottom of the pond. And imagine your belly getting so fluid, so liquidy, so soft, so unguarded, that your liquid belly spills down towards the thighs, softening thighs, buttocks, knees, calves, ankles, feet and toes. Your liquid belly, your soft, open, unguarded, trusting belly, spilling up towards the chest, softening the heart, the lungs, the shoulders, the arms, hands, fingers. Your liquid belly informing the face, the jaw, the lips, the cheeks, the ears, the eyes, the forehead, the whole brain. Your whole body, mind, and spirit is liquid, soft,
unguarded, trusting, open. I'm going to read you one of my all-time favorite poems by Dana Folds. It's called A Simple Conversation. I'm listening, God, says I in the middle of a sleepless night. Me too, came the immediate reply. I knew this to be true from the pregnant void, so patiently awaiting my next move. So I thought a while before I said, I just want to see you. When I pause, the reply comes short and short. That's what I want too. To see every unedited, unabashed, passionate, playful, creative, crazy, naked inch of you. Now, I had to stop and take that in, but there was such unmistakable receptivity. I dared continue. Well, what I really mean is I want to know you in the biblical sense with every cell and pore, in core and essence. I pause to take a breath and think what should come next. And here's what I heard word for word, I swear. Done, God said. What you ask for in your heart of hearts is already true. We have always been one being. But the human mind can't conceive of unity, can't see the colors of a rainbow as one undivided whole. Insists on praying to me as if I am a separate entity. But I tell you this in perfect truth. The union you desire is as close as flame to fire, near as starlight on the clearest night. You and I are one. My kingdom is within you now, not when you die, not just if you play all your cards right, not only when you strive for perfection, or failing that, flail yourself into unholy submission. The church got that exactly wrong. It's your humanness, the raw, imperfect, messy truth of you that enables you to know communion. Stop trying so hard and just be you. All the rest comes as naturally as this conversation you're having with yourself. I love nothing more than when you step lightly through your life, when you laugh easily and often and don't take anything too seriously. You see, the outcome is assured. You don't have to impress, improve, justify, or move heaven and earth to get my attention. Ask, and I will answer. Look, and you will see. Breathe, and in the pause between two breaths, you'll find me. Your language insists on you and me, but that's not the way it is. It's we, not separate entities, but one being, ever changing, always present, never born, and truly deathless. Amen. That's every word I heard. And then I went on back to bed and slept. Please stay where you are as long as you like. I'm going to leave you now. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. Namaste. Take care. I'm going to turn it off.